Hi guys, Rich back at you. In this video, I want to talk about a 72-hour bag. So you probably hear the terms, tossed around like a bug out bag, a get home bag, everyday carry, an EDC, everyday carry. And really it's all about the same things with maybe a little bit of different goals. It's about putting together a kit in a bag to help you sustain yourself during a small emergency. So I want to go over some things that would be good to have in your bag, kick some ideas around with you about your specific needs. They'll change on who you are and stuff, what you do, how where you go. And my philosophy is kind of like this. So when I was younger, pack up 50 pounds and a military Alice pack and be ready to hike 20 miles a day with this to get out of Dodge, for say, if something happened. And then I got in a relationship 8 years ago with Sherry, and I realized I had to kind of change my mindset on this a little bit because, quite frankly, Sherry is not able to throw a 25-pound pack on her back and walk 20 miles a day. It's not going to happen for her right now. That's something she's working on to get better at that, and I'm super proud of her. But I had to change my mindset of what does that mean for us. So the bug out bag is by the some people would think that's by the extreme prepper who end of the world scenarios, running for your life, and there's some truth to that. But there's also cases where you might have to leave your home because of a natural disaster, tornado, hurricane, earthquake, right? Fires. It depends on where you live, obviously. Tornadoes around here probably our biggest little threat like that. Chemical spills from railroad train cars, or maybe you live close to the turnpike. I'm right on the turnpike. And so I have to think about, well, we could have a chemical spill from some tanker truck going down the turnpike here. And then to make our situation even worse, we have tracks less than a quarter mile from where I live. And, they have all kinds of nasty stuff on those train cars. So what if there was a train derailment and you have to evacuate the area? For the most part, though, I think that you also could talk about terrorism and different things like that would cause you to either have to flee or shelter in place, whatever the case may be. So, my idea of a bag is a 72-hour bag to get from point A to point B, or to sustain myself in my home, if nothing else, with what I may have just in a bag. It is something I do carry in the car. Sherry and I always had her a bag and me a bag in the vehicles. And what we carried was specific to our own needs. Now, I carried a lot more of the total things that we'd have to carry. Like, I carried most of the food. I carried the heavier stuff, type of gear, knowing that I wanted her bag to be lighter, something she could handle. And also things in there that made her feel more comfortable in such a situation. She had a little bit of hair care products in there. She had a book. She had more girly type items, not a bunch, but just a little bit, something to help her mentally maybe in a stressful situation. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. In World War II, the soldiers were issued chocolate. They carried chocolate on them because chocolate was soothing when you're under stress. It's that relax moment, right? So I went ahead and unloaded my bag, and I'm just going to kind of go through the items that I carry. So you have to think about what's important if you was to be locked in, locked out, whatever, for 3 days. And I do believe in threes, three of everything. So you can survive 3 hours with harsh weather conditions, okay? If you're exposed to that. 3 days without water. 30 days, it's a three, without food, right? So This bag, right now I'm talking about, 3 days, 72 hours of surviving something. And what's important within that? Water, food, and maybe a few other items to help you battle weather or the mental boredom and things like that. So without further ado, I'm just going to start pulling some stuff over here. So one of the things I carry is a fire starter kit in my bag. So in my fire starter kit, I carry, that's some store-bought tinder with a lighter. I have another lighter that's free in here. A fire steel striker system in case the lighters fail. This does work as long as you've got like something good to strike it against. One of the best little things you can do is put some cotton balls and Vaseline. Dip these cotton balls down in Vaseline, put them in a little baggie. They go up like crazy. You get 10 minutes of flame off of a cotton ball to get a fire going. I have a whistle with a compass that also holds matches inside of it. So I have the waterproof type matches. Oh, I'm sorry, that one doesn't have the water, but that just has regular matches in it. And then this was really cool. This is it's got a little built-in striker. It's a match carrying kit that I bought. It comes with a little bit of tinder, like a one-time deal, and it has the waterproof matches tucked inside of it. So just different ways to build a fire. Also within my kits, my bag of my other kits, with lighters it becomes redundant. I have lighters in several locations in case you'd happen to lose this kit, let's say. So, fire starters. I have a little medical bag. So this is a store-bought medical kit that I bought. It came with all kinds of cool stuff. It's got your Band-Aids and your ointments and your tape and your gauze and stuff like that. It also had some pliers and needles for picking out splinters and some aspirin, antiseptic wipes and stuff like that. It's got a spraying wrap on it. It's just got a whole bunch of good stuff. There's a little safety pin in there. I added to that. I put some afterbite bug anti-itch stuff in there, and also put a little thing of mosquito repellent in there. In addition to, I carry in that bag, I carry a set of rain ponchos, a brand new 2-pack of lighters, a little tube of Advil, and I have some ballistics lip stuff like chapstick I have in there. Something else I throw in that bag. This is another little emergency kit that we put together at one time, and it was in there too. So it's got ointment, aftercare stuff, Band-Aids, put a little pill bottle in there, and it's got all kinds of little stuff in it. It's got needles and just different little things. There's a little towel like this. Believe it or not, this actually opens up and becomes like a size of a hand towel for a kitchen little towel, and they're really, really durable. There's one of those stuff down inside of there. So you got different needs, different kits maybe for self-defense. Obviously the small one's lighter. Something else I carry in my kit is the emergency survival blankets. Each kit has one of those. I had one, Sherry has one. You have the need for light. Maybe it's it's night or it's dark or whatever. The power's gone out where you're at or something. So obviously there's a whole bunch of flashlights you could carry in your kit. Sherry and I have a flashlight that recharges by USB, and or it can charge up your cell phone with USB, however you want to do it. I like carrying a headlamp so my hands are free. This one has multiple different brightness levels to it. A headlamp that would be rechargeable through USB would be something that would be really good. You could use like like your spare anchor battery and a cordage. You could recharge your light maybe if you had to. Always carry one of these fully charged. It's something I check every 2 weeks. I pull this out and plug it in somewhere. Make sure it stays fully charged. This keep my cell phone going, keep my light going, that USB light I was talking about and stuff. So having a way to charge your electronics, especially if you got kids, you know, they're bored to death. They're on your phone playing games or something. You're trying to keep them entertained. You know, having a way to recharge that. These are called frog togs. This is rain pants and a rain jacket. And it's actually for $20 at Walmart. This is surprisingly really pretty good stuff. I'm not saying it's the most durable rain gear you'd ever have, but it's lightweight, it weighs almost nothing, and it's a complete kit. That's something good to carry. Keep yourself dry. Can you imagine if you actually had to walk and it was raining, how miserable you'd be getting wet? I always carry some cordage, some 501 cord or whatever it's called, 7-strand. You never know what that could be good for. Making a shelter out of, or tying stuff to your bag, maybe. Something I carry, and I'm going to get more to this in my food kit, but I carry a military World War II style can opener. These will open any can. It's called a P38. You can get them for, you know, just $1 somewhere on the internet. These are excellent for all your opening can needs. It weighs absolutely nothing. Had a keychain. Guys would wear this with their dog tags in World War II. So that's always excellent to have in any bag that you might put together. Some type of knife. So I have a little mini multi-tool. You know, it's got the screwdrivers and the pliers and a couple little blades and stuff. So I carry that mostly for the tool aspect of it all, not so much the knife. I have a bigger Leatherman, a really good Leatherman that my dad gave me at one time, and I have that in a different bag that I have. But having a knife is pretty awesome. Having a way to sharpen your knife. So these work really well. These are like $20. They're from Outdoor Edge. You have a coarse and then a fine tune, and it makes a nice little table, and you hold it like this and just kind of run your blade across it. Nothing's worse than having a dull blade when you need to cut something. So having a way to keep your knife sharp is, I think, essential. It's plastic, it weighs nothing, right? And that's part of it. You want to keep your bag down in weight as best you can. You know, to think that I'm 52 years old and I've had a stroke, and guess what? I ain't carrying a 45-pound Alice pack anymore. I physically can't do it. I couldn't go more than 3 miles with that on my back. So having something that you can go. Now maybe you have a bag at home you keep in the closet that's your go-to bag. If something happens, maybe it's not a bag, maybe it's a Rubbermaid tote. But in that you've got your candles and all the things that you think would be better at home. Maybe you keep some coloring books and crayons in there, markers for kids. And maybe you got like battery operated lanterns and things like that in there, and that's great, no problem. But if you've got a bag and you're carrying it in your car and you're like, I may have to leave my vehicle and I may have to walk home. You know, I'm in downtown Cleveland and I live 25 miles from there and I gotta walk home. So having a bag that you know you can carry on you and go. So recently in the last few years, I just kept downsizing my bag, downsizing my bag. I got down to where I was carrying about 22 pounds, and Sherry's bag, the last time I had weighed in at like 14 and a half pounds. Something that she could manage and carry and could at least walk, you know. I'm not saying she could do 25 miles in 2 days, but she could walk some distance with it. Our bug out plan for, say, if we had to leave or even if we was out, was really to shelter in place within our vehicle. That was more our plan. With an SUV, we had a bed system in the back of it. And if something bad happened in Cleveland and you couldn't get home, or you know you're down in Southern Ohio or something, we had the ability and the gear within the vehicle to stay with the vehicle. And that made a lot of sense to me. So, you know, you got to come up with your own ideas, your own plans. Water filtration. I've made countless videos of me out in the wild. You know, I'm in the woods and this and that, and making videos, but I'll just show a couple more here. So this is a life straw. These are like $30. You open up the end. You got your suck tube over here, and you can bend down and drink out of a stream or a creek. These capture all viruses, all bacteria. You are perfectly safe to drink water through this, no matter what source you're getting that water from. You could drink a cow's water bowl in the middle of a field that's green with algae and be perfectly fine sucking through this. You gotta carry this. Maybe you need a little cup or something where you could scoop water into, hold it, and get it like that. It's got the little lanyard necklace, kind of nice. It's good for day hikes. I take that thing with me all the time. Something a little more moving forward from that is they call these Sawyer Minis, and they're a little tubular thing. They're fantastic. They come with if I get this bag open, they come with a little pouch that I don't really like, but you're supposed to capture water and put it in this pouch, and then you can screw the mini onto it and drink it straight up. Or you could squeeze the pouch down and send the water through this into maybe a cup or a water bottle or whatever. I don't really use this. I carry it for an emergency backup, but I don't really use it. What I do use, the smart water bottle filters. This will screw right on there. Take this cap off, screw this on, capture my water in one. I always mark we'll call it the dirty bottle. So I have that. If I put this on here, I can just drink it straight out of it. If I'm going to squeeze this into another bottle, which I do a lot, then I have another bottle that I've got some way of knowing that that bottle is my clean bottle, and that's the only bottle I want to drink out of. And with the Sawyers, they have that little flip top lid. So nice drinking out of it once you filtered your water. That works out really good. I have a lighter in here. Like I said, got lighters redundantly places. Why a lighter in here? I might have to build a fire and boil some water. That could be a possibility for having to clean water to drink or cook with. So having that, I got a little piece of cordage in here. And this is a back syringe for cleaning that filter. Once you get to a safe location or whatever, you can backflow it, clean it out. Both of those filters do something like 25,000 gallons of water. So they last a while. Eating. So eating's a big thing. And just real quickly, I carry a Stanley stainless steel cup that I can boil water in. Inside of that, I actually carry some things for coffee. I have some instant Folgers and some creamer and sugar in a little baggie, and I got a little coffee cup in there. I can put this over an open fire if I build one, or maybe I put it over a little stove. I have a small backpacker stove. You know, a lot of my stuff I got because I'm a backpacker, and it just tends its crossover uses is just amazing. So this is a little stove. You can get these for, Coleman has a brand you can get at Walmart for like $15, but it screws onto a small mini propane bottle. I'll show you that in a second. But you screw this onto the bottle and set your pot on there, boil your water. And there's all kinds of foods that you can get to go with your boiled water. So, the canister, the fuel canister for that. So, small little 4-ounce canister will burn for like 8 hours. I need like 3 minutes to boil water in my cup system. So, that works out really, really well. And then I carry a titanium spork in my food kit, my stove, kitchen set, if you will, so I can eat with. Things that I eat. So these backpacker meals have a 25 to 40 year shelf life on them. You got all kinds of flavors. There's breakfast skillet, that's amazing. This is beef stroganoff. You know, these entrees are supposed to be to feed 2 people. I'll tell you what, I'm 230 pounds, and if I eat one of those at like 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm not looking for food until like maybe 9 o'clock at night. They are really hearty. And I carry a handful of those in my little food pack here. Chili mac and beef, turkey dinner casserole, you know. Breakfast skillet, like I said, these are amazing to have. So there's 4. I could go at least 4 days on that right there. And some other quick and easy things is like instant oatmeal, the brown sugar, and maple syrup. Got a handful of bags of those. Uh, Another one of those can openers in my food bag. You know, I got a salt and pepper shaker in there, a little mini one for camping, backpacking. Some beef jerky sticks that didn't need refrigerated. Some Slim Jims might work out for you, you know. This is a 2,500 calorie ration bar I got at Walmart. It has a 5-year shelf life. So I opened this one and I'm going to reseal it with my seal bag, but I bought this. You know, you got to try this stuff out. You got to make sure you're willing to eat it before you have to eat it, right? Because you want stuff that you're going to be willing to eat. So this is a very dry little type of cake. You definitely need something to drink when you eat this. It's got cinnamon and apple flavor to it, so it didn't taste bad, but damn is it dry. So although it would give you good energy per se, which is what it's, you know, survival, chances are, I think most people probably wouldn't like this. Sherry would eat this under an extreme emergency case with a frown on her face the whole time. Trust me, she would not be happy with that at all. So you got to try out, make sure you're willing to eat what you do have. Instant mashed potatoes in my little thing, right? I carry some sweetener, and these are fantastic. So you kind of snub your nose at crick water. You squirt a little Mio, and they got all kinds of flavor. This is the lemonade. I like the sweet tea as well. There's a cherry, a black raspberry, just all kinds of flavors. These are like $3 and some change at every store. You squirt a couple drops of that into your water, and you'll be begging for more. Trust me. That stuff's amazing. You drink dirty brown water after you tasted that. So something else that I carry a small little bottle of soap to wash my hands and stuff. Hand sanitizer would be good, right? I had to steal all the hand sanitizer I have right now. I got it on my car key ring just because of what's going on, but usually I'd have something like that in my bag. The ever sought after toilet paper. So a couple small little rolls, you know. In Sherry's bag, she had a little thing of toilet paper like this and some baby wipes. And the baby wipes is an excellent idea. Clean your hands with them, clean your face with them, clean your stinky pits with them maybe, and use them for restroom duties. So I thought that was a great idea. I carry a small little SAS Survivor book. It's a mini. If I like, man, how can I build a shelter, or how can I this, or how can I that? I can resort back to this little guide. But this is how I keep myself from going stir crazy. I could spend the whole weekend sitting in a corner reading this book from cover to cover and be fascinated the whole time. And I've probably read it 3 times already. So I got the big version, nightstand version, and I've read that thing multiple times. And I'm yet to get bored with it. And it talks about plants you can eat, how to make wildlife traps like snares and stuff like that on the fly. It's a wealth of information. If you don't have one of these, I suggest you get one. Something else that I carry, pair of socks. Okay, so you're thinking, he's carrying socks because if he has to walk, he doesn't want to have sweaty feet the next day and maybe get trench foot or something. And that may be true, but I really carry socks for a different reason. So if someone breaks into my vehicle and they're raiding my bag, I guarantee you there's things in here they're going to steal if they don't steal the whole bag. But they're probably not going to be interested in a pair of socks, right? So inside these socks is the reason I really, really carry them. I carry $250 in cash. 20s, 5s, 10s, and 1s. Because even in a bug out situation, something's happened, I got to leave the vehicle. You know, if I could get a motel room, I'm getting a motel room. Maybe I need to buy something to help. So you could also carry a credit card, an extra debit card, maybe in your kit if you wanted to, something like that. I know people that do that. I've done that before. I decided to get rid of the card because if electronics are down, it's worthless. So, plus if someone steals your bag and they got your card now, what could they do with it? If they steal my bag, they got my $250, but that's the most damage they can do to me. So that's why I carry a pair of socks in my bag. You have to go through your own situation and review your own pros and cons of what you would need. If you saw my video maybe of the truck carrying firearms in your vehicle, maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you just tote an extra firearm inside your bag. So if you don't have a CCW, you could stick a handgun in your bag, and you could stick leave the magazine in the gun maybe, and put the gun in the bag, but keep the ammunition out of the magazine. Find another pocket, make yourself a little baggie or whatever, put 20 rounds in it or something, and then you have a firearm if you need it. I tell you, if I sure didn't have one on me, if I didn't have CCW and wasn't carrying one anyway, I would definitely do that, because if shit hits the fan, you'll be glad to have a firearm, trust me. Someone sees you walking down the street with a bag, they're going to want to take it from you. And remember, and make sure it has a holster, because if you're walking, you can have that gun. Open carry in Ohio is legal. You can load it, you can carry it outside of your clothing. You just can't hide it underneath your clothing in your pocket or nothing without the permit. So you can get it out, load it, strap it on, put your bag on, and start trying to make your way home. Think about a bag like this, or even if you're home, think about a tote where you've got things that could last over a at least 3-day period. If the power went out, you didn't have any heat, it's wintertime. Sherry's parents last year in Lorraine, there was a storm and they had no heat. And they called us and they're talking to Sherry and they're like, my God, we're freezing to death in this house. And I was like, that's silly. And I'm just so disappointed that people just have no means or think in the future of anything could happen. So I ran over there with 5-gallon kerosene can and a 20,000 BTU kerosene stove, set it up in her living room, lit it up, and they made it for the next day and a half happy as a clam. It was heating the better part of their house. Their kitchen, living room, hallway area was heated during the day. They moved it down by their bedrooms in the hallway, and it heated the 2 bedrooms at night. So, there's just, in my mind, I don't know, I was raised this way. My tactical training has taught me to want to be like this and be prepared for things. So having a 3-day kit is a great place to start, and then maybe you'll grow your system, and not in a bag, of course, but maybe at home you'll grow to a 3-week. You got 3 weeks worth of supplies that you can drink, eat. They say you need a gallon of water per person per day. How much water do you have stored up right now? Either in the little bottles or the 1 gallons, or maybe you got the 2.5 gallon square jugs or whatever. How much water do you have? So I have 10 gallons for just me, right? So 10 days worth of water for say. That's without using my water filters. So if the water stops flowing or it's contaminated and they put their boil alert on, which is why they always say boil alert, because boiling kills everything that could happen. So having 10 gallons of water to get me started off during something that happened with the water is a great start. And from that point, I can use my filters, or I can, things like that. So just things to think about. You got kids, make them a bag. Haul it in the trunk of your car. Make their bag light. Put stuff in it. Maybe put a rain gear in it. Maybe it's wintertime and you put extra glove and hat and coat in it. Make sure you put some toys in it. You want to keep them entertained. And unfortunately, most of the kids today, they only want to do electronic stuff, but eventually your battery's going to die. So will they play cards? Will they play jacks? Will, Hot Wheels cars, little army guys? Make the kit something that will help them get through the time period too. You can carry most of the food, give them some snack items, and then tell them, hey, you can only have a snack. You got to wait till 3 o'clock in the day to have your snack. You can only have one, and you got 3 snacks, 3 days, right? Non-perishable goods. Think about things you could carry non-perishable. You could carry the individual slices of Spam, nuts, cashews, like that, things like that in a baggie. They can help you go. Slim Jims. With that, you could carry a can of tuna fish and a plastic spork with the little mini packs of Miracle Whip. You can whip that up inside the can or whatever, and choke it down. Whatever it is, you have to sit down and figure that out. Obviously you're not going to have refrigeration, so that's a tough gig there. especially for a bag. Extra flashlights, just different things. I hope this got you at least thinking about this. There's a site the government puts out. It's beready.com. They have a list of all items that people should carry in their car, in their bag, save in their home. You know, essentials for help you get through 72 hours of a natural disaster. Remember when Hurricane Katrina happened and those poor people was winding up in their attics? Imagine if they had a bag to help them get through their attic, right? They could have had light. They could have had a whistle. They're blowing their whistle, hoping somebody hears it to get them out of their attics. They'd had food. They could have sustained themselves for a couple of days. They ended up in the Superdome. So although, you know, they were saying no firearms in the Superdome, if you had a small little pistol, maybe you sneak it in. But if you had a kit like this and you're in the Superdome, you're a hell of a lot better shape than everybody else was. Trust me. So you've got examples in America. You've got, you know, terrorist attack. Remember in the early 2000s when the entire eastern grid went down, we had no electricity. There was nothing for a couple days. You had that. You have hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, wildfires where people are fleeing for their life out of California. You know, having a bag that you can already in your vehicles, you know, and if you got multiple vehicles, maybe you have multiple bags in multiple vehicles. Maybe you only have one bag, and so you're taking it in and out every day. Multi-use, easy to carry, fundamentals of survival. So I hope this at least intrigued you enough to start thinking about maybe what you could do, your spouse could do for your kids to help you get through an emergency. So my next video, I've been asked to do one on gas mask and how to survive with that and what to buy. And that's an extreme case for us. I realize that, you know, we're so fortunate. We live here in America. You know, in Israel, the government, they give everybody a gas mask. Every 6 months you get a new one with cartridges because they live in an area where people are still wanting to chuck gas over the borders at them and kill them, right? So I don't really, it could happen here where, you know, North Korea or something sends something over here and it's got biological or nuclear type weapons and stuff, and the gas mask obviously would help you through that. But most likely, I'm thinking more like chemical spill. Right now, I could walk all over town in one of my gas masks and not worry about C-19 at all, right? So it's better than any N95 mask you've ever bought, trust me. So I'm going to do another video on that a little bit later today. And then after that, I'm going to make a video about inside and outside home defense and what you should do or should not do and what weapons maybe you need to think about having to do that. So until then, stay healthy. Peace out.